Hey everybody, it's Chris Bumbray here again for JoBlo.com with another video review, this time of the highly anticipated War for the Planet of the Apes. Now, the buzz for this one has been off the charts, with Fox clearly confident in the film, launching an aggressive screening campaign for it nationwide, allowing it to be seen and reviewed more than 3 full weeks before it comes out, not something that's at all usual for tentpole blockbusters, when the screenings are typically more targeted, designed to build the word of mouth in a shorter window, keeping it part of the conversation closer to the all-important opening weekend, and in worst-case scenarios, controlling leak reviews. When something screens this far in advance outside of film festivals, it usually means the film is very good, and sure enough, War for the Planet of the Apes ranks up there with Wonder Woman as an example of blockbuster filmmaking done just right. This is director Matt Reeves' second film in the rebooted Planet of the Apes series, and a significant leap from the last, the well-received Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which was a global smash. It's crazy how this trilogy has grown out of a movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, that actually had to deal with some pretty bad buzz before it came out, only to become a surprise hit once it hit theaters. As much as the second film built on what was right about the first film, specifically Caesar as played by Andy Serkis' journey, this one doubles down. If the first was about Caesar getting smart and the second about Caesar becoming a leader, this one is about him becoming a legend or a myth in his culture. While it tells a tight tale about Caesar's pursuit and conflict with a mad colonel played by Woody Harrelson who's bent on wiping out the apes for good, it also lays the groundwork for the 1968 Planet of the Apes, giving us some real clues into how Earth actually became the Planet of the Apes, even more so than in the last film. Significantly, there are no human protagonists this time. Even the last one had Jason Clarke and Kerry Russell shoehorned in as human characters, but this is Serkis' vehicle all the way. With Caesar fully verbal by this point, we just don't need humans. He's already more human than any of the ones we've seen so far, a sly comment on his overall arc, which firmly puts you on the side of the apes without any gray area whatsoever. They're clearly the ones we're supposed to be rooting for, and Serkis is the key, giving a performance as Caesar that will no doubt once again kickstart the conversation about whether or not mocap performances should be considered for Oscars. If you think not, you should give this a watch. You may well walk out feeling a whole lot differently. War for the Planet of the Apes is also a huge step forward for Matt Reeves as a director. Watching it, I couldn't help but think this is the same kind of jump a guy like Christopher Nolan did between Batman Begins and The Dark Knight. Reeves was already a fantastic director, but War makes me think he may be a great one, and DCU fans will be psyched to see what he does with the Batman once this comes out. Suffice to say, that franchise is in very good hands. What's crazy impressive here is how Reeves has made this so character-based. The others were too, but this is even more so, with very little concern being paid to the big action set pieces. Now, there are certainly a few of those, notably at the end, but rather than sprinkle them in here and there like he did in Dawn, Reeves is confident enough in his abilities to make this a quiet, slower burn, something that pays off as you become so invested in Caesar's dark journey towards his eventual meet with the Colonel, who starts off as kind of his white whale and later becomes something he starts to relate to all too much. Serkis is just outstanding here, but it also needs to be said that the Weta effects, which were always great, are particularly good. This really needs to be seen on as big a screen as possible under the best of projection conditions, as the VFX work is so delicate, with ape fur and features having never looked so real. This is a massive leap forward in effects work, and the Weta team here will almost certainly take home Oscars for their game-changing work. This is probably the best CGI I've ever seen. As the antagonist, Woody Harrelson's performance ranks up there with the best of his career, and while many are comparing him to Marlon Brando's Colonel Kurtz in Apocalypse Now, there's actually more to it than that, giving him some shading that I didn't anticipate. He's certainly the villain, but he doesn't think he is, and Harrelson draws on his talent in a way that's far beyond the norm. Sometimes actors of his caliber treat these movies as a lark, but Harrelson has clearly gone deep, in a way that pushes the envelope even more. All these elements, plus a possible career best score from Michael Giacchino, make War for the Planet of the Apes one of the great modern tentpole movies, marred only by one choice where too much exposition is laid out in a way that makes me think that at the 11th hour, a decision was made to meet audiences halfway in terms of making it simple. They really didn't need to. You could have cut this whole scene where Harrelson lays out exactly what's happening to mankind, and we would have gotten it. Suffice to say, War for the Planet of the Apes is among the best films of the year, and a blueprint for how movies made on this scale should be. It's gorgeous to look at and exciting, but it'll also hit you on an unexpectedly emotional level and stick with you long after. I give this one high marks indeed, being a 9 on 10 in my book. This is one you cannot afford to miss. Until next time, I'm Chris Bumbray for JoBlo.com.